everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am bringing you more short manga recommendations. So I did a video over a year ago now where I shared 6 different manga series that were 5 volumes or less. To me, that does indicate a short manga series, and I do think it is a perfect bite-sized portion if you are new to manga, getting into manga, or if you even just want to break in between longer manga series, or something that you could potentially finish in one sitting. And I have seen your guys' comments. I know you've been asking for another short manga series video, and so that's what this is here. I really wanted to do this earlier. I didn't want to wait over a year to do another one. However, I have noticed that I have been reading a lot of longer manga series lately, and so I haven't been trying out new shorter series. I have a couple that I have read previously and they are on this list here, and then I have some new ones that I've absolutely been loving, and so I actually have 7 series to talk to you guys about today that are all 5 volumes or less. The first one I have here is going to be Meteor Prince by Mecha Tanaka. It is a 2-book series, so this is the entirety of it, volume 1 and volume 2, and basically it follows a girl who has like a slew of bad luck, and so it just so happens that her bad luck has extended to space, basically, and this guy falls from space claiming that she is his mate. It is a very fun, very quick read. It is very hilarious. I also feel like the guy in this reminds me a lot of like Tamaki from Ouran High School Host Club. And so if you're looking for just a sort of silly, fun time with some romance in there, I do think this is one that you should pick up. The next series I wanted to talk about, I actually don't have physical versions of because I read them so long ago. I do feel like I potentially need to reread this series, and if I do still like it, I will probably purchase it. But that is going to be Doubt by Yoshiki Tonogai. This one is definitely more horror thriller based. I'm pretty sure you can tell by the covers here. There are 4 books in this series, and I think they originally came out in English in like 2007 or 2008, and basically this follows a group that plays the Rabbit Doubt game. I'm pretty sure they play on a phone. It's been a while since I read this one, and everybody is a rabbit except for one person is a wolf, and the wolf is supposed to go and like eliminate a rabbit, and the rabbits are trying to figure out who is the wolf before they get taken out. And this one ends up taking the group that plays this game and locking them in a building and making them play it for real, where one person is a killer and the rest are out to be killed. The things I really remember about this one are it is very like horror thriller based. You're constantly questioning who is what throughout this book series. And so again, I haven't read this one in a while, but if you're looking for more of a spooky manga, especially since we're getting into the October spooky season right now, this could be one for you. The next one I picked out is Kenka Bancho Otome Love's Battle Royale by Chie Shimada. So this is a 2-book series, although I will be upfront with you guys, I wish there was more in this. I'm not saying it ends badly, but I definitely think it ended in a way that was open-ended for more, and I really just would have loved to see more. But this follows a girl who just recently found out that she has a twin brother, and he does not want to go to the school he is supposed to go to because it is a school filled with delinquents. So she ends up dressing up like him to go to this school, and it's, like I said, filled with delinquents. There are fights all the time. There's power struggles to be like who's gonna be the boss, who's gonna be on top, and she is very powerful. She's a very strong female character. There is a little bit of like hints of possible romance stuff, but again, it's only 2 volumes, and I wish there was more because it was a very fun ride. One of my favorite tropes in mangas and K-dramas and that kind of stuff is the like hidden princess, I think, is that what it's called? It's where one character goes in dressed up, usually a girl dressing up as a guy, into like an all-boys school, that kind of thing, and has to hide who they are, and then usually romance stuff happens, or at least that's the stuff I absolutely love. But yeah, there's lots of action in here. I absolutely loved our main female character. Like I said, she was very strong, and so Even though I wish there was more to this series, because it's only the 2 volumes, this was still a very, very fun ride. The next series is Love in Focus by Yoko Nogiri. Now this one has 3 volumes. So volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3. Now this is basically a manga about a love triangle. Do not get me wrong, there are other things that go on. There's a lot of character development and stuff like that. But the main purpose of this series is a love triangle. We follow our main character, Mako, who has gone to a new high school. Her friend goes there, and the reason she's going is because it has a really good photography club. But since she is moving out of like her house and going to this new school, she ends up living at a boarding house there where a lot of other students live who are also part of this photography club. So we do have some talk about the photography element and everything like that. But we have a mysterious new student there as well who does not want anything to do with photography. And then we have her childhood best friend, and it's basically a love triangle between them 3. It is definitely a coming of age story, and I just really, really enjoyed this one. It is 100% like slice of life. Like, it's just 3 volumes of them going to school, building friendships and relationships, and yeah, if you're into that kind of stuff, definitely try this one out. The reason I actually picked these up, because this is a recent read for me, is that I have been reading and absolutely loving another series by Yoko Nogiri, which is called Those Not So Sweet Boys. It is currently ongoing, and it is definitely more than 5 volumes, but I loved that one so much, I had to try this one out, and it did not disappoint. Then the next one I have here is I Hear the Sunspot by Yuki Fumino. This is a 5-volume manga series. I will say right now, there might be a caveat. This might be an ongoing series. I have not seen anywhere that a new volume is coming out in this series, but there is a very small author's note in the back just sort of saying, I'll see you in my next book, and so I did not know for sure if they're planning on doing more I Hear the Sunspot, or if they just mean they're gonna do another series. But this is a 5-book series so far. I had to include it because it is one of my favorites. It is a male-male romance set in college, and I just absolutely love this. This is a slow burn, lots of angst type of story, and one of our main characters is hard of hearing, and so we also have a lot of good commentary and discussion about deafness and disabilities, and I just absolutely love this. This is also slightly different in the setup of this because there are 5 volumes. Look at the size difference though. The first book here is like super, super skinny compared to everything else, but what we basically have is we have I Hear the Sunspot, which is the first one. This is when they first meet in college, and one of the characters ends up being like a note taker for the hard of hearing character. Then we have I Hear the Sunspot Theory of Happiness. This is like a sequel. They're all in order, like you have to read the first one in order to continue, but this is like a sequel to that one where they're starting to figure out more stuff about life, and like I said, it is a slow burn romance thing, so be prepared for that. I absolutely love that, so like bonus for me. And then these 3 are a trilogy within this series. So we have I Hear the Sunspot Limit Volume 1, Limit Volume 2, and Limit Volume 3. So I don't know exactly why they split it up this way, where it's like standalone trilogy. In the series, like you do actually need to read them in order to get the entire story. I just don't know why it was sort of set up that way. But that's the way it is. That's the order you should read them in. If you like that angst, that slow burn romance, the like really good trying to figure yourself out, college, coming of age type of stuff, plus the disability representation in here and the discussions about that, definitely read it. Like seriously, this is one of my favorite manga series. And now I have a slight caveat for the last 2 series I am mentioning as well. They're not finished yet, at least in English. So the first one I wanted to talk about is A School Frozen in Time. This is art by Naoshi Arakawa, who is also the manga artist and author of Your Lie in April, and the story is by Mizuki Sujimura. So this one was originally published in Japan in 2008. It is now coming out in English in 2021. So this is an older story, and this one also has a little bit more thriller elements. There is no romance whatsoever as far as I can tell. Basically, this follows a group of students who go to school one day and realize that they're basically the only people in school. They try to escape the school, and all the doors, all the windows, everything is locked. And they realize this has something to do with the fact that one of the classmates of theirs committed suicide at a school festival, and they don't remember who it was. And they think it might be somebody that is currently among them. So it is very hard. They definitely mention the suicide topic. One thing that I absolutely love is in this book series, right at the very beginning, right before you start to read, right down here are content warnings specifying that this volume contains references to suicide. If you or someone you know has suicidal thoughts or feelings, you are not alone, and there is a free 24/7 help, and it has the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline stuff on there. I appreciate that so much because this is a big focus of this story. But basically, that's what is going on. They think they are trapped in the school. They think one of them is dead. They don't know what's going on. I will say the first volume in this series, I think I only gave 3.5 stars because it's the beginning of the series. We didn't really get any character development. We didn't really get anything going on except for them being trapped at school until the end, and then it jumped right into this one. This one was so much better. Like, the pacing of it is now getting really fast and really good, and like things are happening. There's lots of blood so far in here. Like, I have no idea what anything is, but I'm super excited to pick up more in this series. It is a 4-book series, and so volume 3 actually just came out on September 14th. I just have not had a chance to go pick it up yet. And the 4th and final volume in the series is scheduled to come out on October 19th. And then the other series that is not done yet, but is more recent because it just came out in Japan like last year, and now it's getting published in English this year, but it is Boys Run the Riot by Keito Gaku. So this one only has 2 books out so far. This is volume 1, this is volume 2. Again, this is another book that I think is going to be like one of my absolute favorites, like the series. These 2 books so far are phenomenal. This follows a trans teen who still has to present as a girl at school because he does not know how to tell his family, his community, anything like that about who he really is. He is trying to figure out his identity and how to come to terms with that with the people that he loves. But also there is a new kid in his class who wants to start a clothing brand, and they decide to do it together because that is a sort of self-expression. Now, the author of this is also a trans masc individual, and this is partly based on his life, and so there are some very hard topics in here. There are mentions of like body dysmorphia, and there's a little bit of things that could be like transphobic, even though not like overtly to your face. It's just that kind of stuff, things that he probably experienced in his life. So while I do think this is really good, it has some really good discussion topics, and I just absolutely love the emotions that I get from this. Like, I love every single one of our main characters so much. There are things that could be tough or triggering to certain people in here. And again, like I said, there's only 2 books out so far. Volume 3, I think, was originally supposed to come out at the end of September. However, the Kodansha website says it's not coming out till October 5th now, and I think Amazon and certain bookstores are saying that as well. And then volume 4 currently has a release date of November 30th. So both of these last 2 series I talked about are still ongoing. However, I've really been enjoying the ride, and they will be completed by the end of this year. So get on that if you would like to read those. But yeah, so those are the 7 short manga series that I wanted to share with you guys today. I am always looking for more short manga series because, like I mentioned before, I have been reading a lot of longer ones. So if you have any short recommendations that you would like to share with me, I will always take those. And I hope you like the picks that I have here. I tried to make sure I had a few different genres and things, but obviously these are going to be really tailored to my tastes. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you would like to see more videos. I do have videos up Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I will see you then. Bye!